On today's video, we're back to Lost Kingdom 141. As my voice is getting a little bit better, it's time to talk about that Zone 6 fight, Part 2. And this time, I'll explain to you how come it ended up becoming a 4v2 where the two blues go up against pink, red, orange, and green. Where were yellow and purple, and why did those level 5 passes have such a huge impact on how this match planned out? I got a ton of action for you. We're going to talk about everything and anything you need to know. Fly by the map a few times in this video so you understand things a little bit better in terms of the positioning of everything. So this is when things start getting more clear. You'll understand a little bit better why things happen the way they happen. And then we got so much more to come. So if you like Lost Kingdom coverages, make sure you're slapping a like on the video. And yeah, here we go. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. My voice is doing a little bit better, and today we're in part 2 of the Lost Kingdom 141 Zone 6 coverage. Last we left off, the video explained to you guys a little bit about the situation at hand in that Lost Kingdom Zone 6. You guys mentioned quite a bit that you want to see the map a little bit more, and so this time around I added more shots where we flew across the map and showed the whole situation. So we'll explain things and we'll illustrate them through the map as the video goes. For now, what you need to understand is we are looking at the top area in the Zone 6 areas. The other 3 are occupied by 2 allied kingdoms who are just not doing anything in them but using them as a rite of passage. If you remember how the Lost Kingdom map looks like, you have 4 level 6 sections, and the way you get into them is through your level 5 zones. And so there is one very important mechanic, which we're going to look at in this video, that is the level 5 pass, which was used in a very interesting way to essentially create the situation we're looking at right now. Last we left off, I showed you guys the FTKC fam, the FTK fam in general, put a few flags across this river to not let red cross that easily. They wanted essentially to make red cross this river through bridges, which are choke points, and lock those down. Unfortunately for blue though, red kept pushing and eventually managed to drop a flag with territory on the other side of the river, which made things much easier for them to rally and fight and eventually take over some of this territory. In this fight, we have red and pink fighting very hard against the 2 blue teams. What they're trying to do is they're trying to lock them out of Zone 6. While the Zone 6 battles are happening at the top, the allies of blues, yellow and purple, have the bottom as well as the left Zone 6 completely to themselves, and they're walking through with flags to get to the Zone 5s of their oppositions so that they can come help their friends at the top. The problem here is that the allies of red and pink, green and orange, had the right side Zone 6. As you can see, a little bit of space in there. Purple and pink, sorry, are doing everything they can to lock out blue, get this pass away from them, and get all their territory locked in. While that happens, red is kind of focused on the other blue. Pink has one flag right there that they're working on to get rid of to help out the friends in red. But the idea here is to lock out these guys from this zone and let orange and green, who are coming in from the right side, Zone 6, get into the Zone 5 that belongs to blue and start fighting them from behind. So you can see the blues are just trying to hold on to territory in this Zone 6, but red is just not gonna let that happen. Now don't get it wrong. Most of the time, it was a lot of a back and forth. While red were active, they were burning more blue flags than the blues were burning reds. And when red was less active, blue was taking space back. They did manage to grow their territory here and there. But again, what ended up happening is that in previous videos covering Lost Kingdom 141, which are all carded up on the top right throughout the video, we saw that pink had a fight in Zone 5 between the 2 reds. Now, pink is a pretty strong kingdom, and they assessed that their losses were not that much bigger, if at all, than both blue kingdoms combined. And so even though you can see right here 340 in baby blue really fighting back against red, Red came into this confrontation with all the resources stacked up, with their zone 5 time in which they stacked up more resources and speed ups and troops and everything. And they're coming hot against two kingdoms that did already fight, that did already heal, and that did win a confrontation in zone 5 against pink, a 2v1 situation, which we covered in videos before. But now the tides are turning. The blues are essentially caught between two kingdoms that are standing in front of them and two kingdoms coming to backstab them. We're going to show the map in a bit more detail so you understand what I'm talking about. But right now, we got to talk about Lost Kingdom mechanics, because a little bit later in this video, I hope you guys stick around for that, because that's like one of the craziest things I've seen in Lost Kingdom in a while. So you don't want to miss that part of the video. It's still coming. Zone 6 is required to go through Zone 5 and through level 5 passes, which means that you need to figure out which level 5 passes are the ones you want to utilize, because taking over a level 5 pass, even though it's very important to get your alliance points, your kingdom points, and get first occupation rewards for your alliance and kingdom, those have a separate mechanic that came into real big play in the way this Lost Kingdom worked out. For the record, all of these kingdoms, you can see right here, green starting to push in at blue's zone 5. Orange own the pass right now, and they're going up against these blue forts. Already some inactive flags from blue it's starting to get bad. Blue now have to figure out how they hold to the front and keep pushing, as well as how they maintain the back area. Their essential everything, right? Their buffs from Lost Kingdom, the buildings they're holding on to, the base in which the foundation of what they have to push into Zone 6 is now being pushed right here. And these level 5 passes, as you can see and I was talking about, have not been taken at all. Remember that for green and orange, the most important part was to go up against a blues first. So they really didn't have any business coming into the Zone 6s that had yellow or purple in them. Now, again, taking over a pass early on means that you get the rewards, but it also means that you now have to defend the pass or else someone else can take it. What happened here is that as long as none of these passes have been taken, barbarians, tier 5 barbarians, are the one holding onto them. And there is a small trick we're going to still get to, which made these passes practically impenetrable. You can see that the only level 5 passes that were taken were the ones used by either team to progress their own strategy, rather than passes that, I mean, look at this. These guys were so careful not to let purple hop the wall. The passes that were not taken were passes that essentially would help out the other side, and you'll understand what I mean in a moment. Right now, all that yellow and purple are trying to do is come and help their friends in blue, who are getting smothered by red and pink. Pink really taking care of that top area, as you guys saw, while red pushing center and bottom and just cleaning things up. Let's get back a little bit into the action and talk about the situation blue found themselves in, both blues. At this point, they have to figure out when they don't have that much time with their enemy. They've been fighting for about 24-ish hours. Let's go for 48 just for the sake of it. They finally realized what time red are less active. Red figured out what time blues and pinks are less active. And this is the time where blue can really stop the burning of their pass, their fortresses. That was a small mistake, in my opinion, by the FTK fam to let this keep burning, even though red were not that active. Some red king alliances were, but the big majority, as you can see, was burning, and it was time for the blues to gain some territory back. When you're getting pushed back, it's very important to understand when is a good time for you to try to gain ground. Even if you manage to burn a flag once or twice or for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, if the flag doesn't completely go away and you manage to put a flag there in return and build it, you haven't really gained much beyond weakening your opposition. And the problem is when your opposition is pushing on you, when your opposition is in a stronger position, for you to take 2 troops for every one of yours that they take is not good enough. When you are in a disadvantage in numbers as well as in troops and power, What you're really trying to do is gain territory. Right now, it's a 4v2, and blue need to figure out how they stay inside the zone 6 as well as zone 5, really, or else yellow and purple will be in a 2v4 next. The idea here is red and pink want to shut down the blues, make it to zone 7. Inside zone 7, orange and green will meet them, and from there they will fight purple and yellow again in a 4v2 situation. Purple and yellow are making their way around, trying to help out. They're trying to, but they have a level 5 pass to get to and get through, and you'll see why in a moment they had such a tough time. But when they get the first level 5 pass done, they now have to cross zone 5 of red teams into the back area where red team came into zone 6, and then get through the red team to get to the blues. Essentially, there is way too much territory for purple and yellow to get through before blue will be taken out, and blue know this, which is why you're seeing them fight back, which is why you're seeing them do everything they can to gain ground, to burn flags, to stop the bleeding. Unfortunately, red were really, really strong, and pink were really, really, really ruthless. They're strong as well, but they just never stopped. And now blue find themselves in a big, big, big problem. They're doing everything they can to come back out of this, and they have strong players with strong lineups, strong commanders and mentality, but they don't have the space to execute what they want to execute and to try to take control back, which is why they're doing what they're doing. We've noticed more and more how open field combat is crucial in Lost Kingdom, and as a matter of fact, swarming a rally nowadays is one of the biggest meta components ever. That's everything that this is about. Even Archivist Cyrus is all about swarming rallies nowadays, even more than counter rallying. I feel like we're seeing more swarms on rallies than we're seeing counter rallies, and I don't know whether or not that's a more efficient way or less efficient way to get things done, but man, oh man, blues really need to figure out what they're doing in here. Let's zoom out on the map. You guys are seeing red really pushing everywhere. Blues really having a hard time, as red do have to get through this damn bridge, but at this point, there's just not enough presence of blue to do anything, while red and pink are really, really, really in here. Look at the spread around this one flag. Pink just don't really care. They really want to go in and really get rid of blue quickly. And they were focused on that. Really, really, really focused on that. Look at that. Pink took away one of the level 5 passes. Now, again, pink doesn't hold on to this pass forever. But what they're doing is they're causing, again, blue to have to think, okay, what do we go after? Do we go after our pass? Do we go after our area? There is so much presence from pink, from red, everywhere, that blues are consistently having to pick which side to fight. And whichever side they don't fight, they end up losing. You can see blue are now really close to losing this one flag right here, which connects a bunch of their area, a bunch of FTK area, depends on this one flag, and there's another flag coming after that. And 22 just kept going. They kept pushing hard, and you can really see them taking over the whole top area of that zone 6 slowly and steadily, while red aimed more towards the bottom and center areas to push that away. Blue have one pass that they still own in here. It's currently held by not the owners of the flag right next to it, but it's still in blue's hands. But look at orange right above me, had a little bit of a sliver of a flag that they managed to hop the wall, and things are about to get really, really, really tough. It's so hard to divide your attention to these flags and the pass up top and orange hopping the wall and pink inside the zone 6. 4 different 4-1 Kingdom, 341, the folks of Death Squad. They're all over the place. And yes, this is the one rally I was like, okay, these guys are not really paying attention. 340 were so desperate to just keep pushing that they rallied a burning flag. The defenses just walked out of that burning flag because it's already burning, and the rally did nothing. It hit a few troops, which took a moment or two to get out, but other than that, it didn't re-burn the flag. The flag was already burning, and it seemed that at this point 340 started losing a little bit of focus as some flags were being put out and they were rallying them. Others were not being put out and they were still rallying them. But it doesn't mean that because 340 was losing a little bit of the focus they needed, it doesn't mean they were not winning the fights they had to win. This flag right here had a Richard on it. And again, when it comes to defending flags and buildings, I really don't understand the use of a Richard in a situation where severely wounded and dead troops are a thing. In Ark of Osiris, you don't lose troops, so you can do these kinds of things to delay your enemy from winning. But in Lost Kingdom, trying to delay your enemy from winning comes at a cost of dead troops and severely wounded. I keep saying that every single video because it's important for that to get into your head. You should not be putting very strong healing commanders to hold on to buildings. If you find a better combination of tanky commanders that are not healers, awesome. But when you're healing slightly wounded troops to go into the battle while you are delaying your enemy from burning the flag, you're also turning some of those slightly woundeds into severely woundeds as well as deads. And honestly, it's much easier to put away the flag and put those same troops back in. Look at green and orange. They are doing everything they can to push. They have they've lost the one pass that they owned up on the top area, but they're about to go double rally it and get it back. And I promised you guys we're going to talk about these passes right here, and so we will. The level 5 passes have a mechanic in them that is really important to understand. So long as the first occupation doesn't happen, there are tier 5 troops, a lot of them holding on to the pass. Now, it shouldn't be difficult for a big kingdom like any one of these to take a pass if they're able to just rally it and get it done with. But one of the mechanics inside this level 5 pass is that when it defeats a set of troops, it heals itself up. There is an ability within the pass that means that as long as a set of troops are destroyed, a portion of the pass, if not the whole thing, gets healed up. So we saw a bunch of these passes. Did you notice this thing right here? Take a moment for a second. There's a march making its way. Bam. March dead. Pass healed. What the hell is that? You might be asking. Well, bam. March is about to die. Pass is about to heal. What these guys ended up doing is that the passes that were not relevant to their own strategies, like this one right here, the folks in red surrounded, and I believe it was the folks in 322 started sending tier 1 marches consistently at the passes. What this did is, even though yellow was trying to rally, every time a pink march would hit the pass and die, the pass would heal, and the rally was not able to successfully take the pass. That is right. Now, some folks are saying that one of these kingdoms used a bot which would send every minute another march with one tier 1 to hit the pass. I don't know if a bot was used or not. I'm not here to judge, or I didn't see anything beyond marches continually going there. It could have been a bot and it could have been an exploit. I don't know. But what I do know is this is a brilliant way of utilizing current mechanics within the game to stop your opposition. Right there, red team and pink had to spend nothing but one tier 1 at a time to ensure that the barbarians hold on to this pass for as long as needed, and they can not let yellow team and purple team get into the fight. They can just lock them in these passes, lose the one tier 1 at a time, and go focus their main forces towards this. So red and pink went all in up here while they just locked up the level 5 passes on the other side, not letting yellow and purple get through. And orange and green did the same exact thing. In their zone 6, where they're marching their way towards the zone 5 of the folks in blue, they also did not take the passes that went to the bottom where yellow and purple are. And they too locked out yellow and purple from getting into those zones, utilizing the healing mechanic of the pass. I don't know whether I like that or not. On the one hand, it's insanely awesome that these guys are thinking outside the box on how to utilize in-game mechanics. And Lilith agrees, by the way, that this is not an abuse. This is how it's intended to be. The fact that they're utilizing the mechanic in a creative way to lock in the pass is not necessarily cheating, but what Lilith will investigate is this whole if there is any bot situation happening in there. So hopefully that's not a thing. But for now, red and pink not giving blue a break. I want to show you guys one or two crazy reports of what I'm saying of what's happening here, and then I think we are we got a couple of extra things to go over, and then the next couple of videos are gonna be a little bit different than this, because right now you have a 4v2 situation with two kingdoms alike, savage dogs being held. They are trying to fight and they want to fight, but they can't. And in the next couple of videos, we're gonna see what yellow and purple do to get out of that situation, to come and help their allies in blue, who are taking severe damage. 22 are just not letting things get through. And yes, 22 making some mistakes in here, having a little bit of presence next to this FTK flag, and FTK with that Yi Song Ye on the flag, definitely capitalizing on the deaths. So while FTK are holding on and they are taking a beating, they're always making it expensive on the other side. As of right now, there's a 4v2 situation. But just like earlier, the folks in yellow and purple have not fought yet at all, and they are fully geared to go. The folks in red are now in a place where the folks in blue were earlier, where they are fighting for a little bit, and the resources are being used, the speed ups are being used, the troops are dying. Things are getting weaker than at the prime. And yellow and purple now have a goal of figuring out how to get in and do what they need to do. If things work out the way I believe they'll work out, I think that this strategy is going to backfire completely. The fight right now is red and purple and pink trying to get rid of blues, while orange and green help out to get rid of blues. But once yellow and purple come in, I think that red and pink are going to be in a lot of trouble, because it's going to be a 2v2 scenario where they're the weaker ones out of the twos. And now I can tell you that green and orange are going to try to come in and help, but I feel like what'll end up happening is a 2v2 situation in the zone 7 between yellow and purple against orange and green, and whoever wins out of that will try to bail out the friends out of the zones 5s. I think that the zone 6s will be occupied by 4 kingdoms, not 8, unless pink and red really have that much more gas left in the tank to be able to hold onto their ground once yellow and purple get through, because eventually they're gonna have to be able to get through. You can see pink pushing hard, blue building more territory, building more forts, spreading their flags, and just trying to do their best to hold on. They're taking their pass back from pink consistently and trying to hold on to it. But again, right now they can focus on that. In a moment, they won't be able to focus it on anymore. Look at that loss by the folks of 22. They don't care. 22 taking a beating just as much, but they are just pushing through. What they're trying to do is, even if they lose a little bit more than the blues at this stage, what they're trying to do is just empty out the folks in blue, let red get rid of them, and then both pink and red together go to zone 7. Things might get really, really bad very quickly though, because yellow and purple are not gonna let this go down this easy. And so as we look at this very nasty report, this report was really, really, really big. Plenty of losses on both sides, plenty of dead troops all over the place. But the most important thing was coming up right now. Somehow, some way, yellow take the pass that was held by purple and red. Yes, that pass we saw always getting hit and healing. Finally, yellow get through. And now that there is no barbarians to defend that pass, red and pink, or at least red by themselves or pink by themselves, someone is going to have to take care of that pass, or else things are going to get really bad and purple and yellow are going to start backstabbing. For purple and yellow right now, the plan is we got to hop a wall, we got to get through a pass, we got to figure out how the heck we come and backstab red and pink and go help out our allies. Rallies were being sent, fortresses all over this place burning, flags all over this place burning, open field combat like crazy. The dogs have been unleashed. Yellow is here. They've been waiting for this for so long, and finally they get to put their foot down and start burning things, and this is when things turn really, really weird. Yep, weird. For now, let's leave this as is, as we're looking at the leftmost zone 5. Those passes were finally taken, and yellow are pushing in to try to take some area away from red and come from behind to help their friends in blue. Right now, red's focus is at the front against blues, which is why everything is burning here. But very soon, pink as well as red are going to have a conversation and choose which side is going to take care of what. Red will decide to back off and come to help out in this area right here, while pink will keep pushing the top zone of that zone 6 to get rid of blues. And that is a small preview of what's coming in the next video. In the next video, we have one of the craziest, longest fights I've ever recorded. It was unbelievable. We've seen crazy fights like that, but not at the scale of what that happened. That video is coming out hopefully Sunday, if not Monday. There is another huge video about to come out very soon, at the beginning of next week. You don't want to miss that out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, slap a like on the video. I'm Gekko Gaming. Thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate every single one of you who is chilling, watching the videos, enjoying the Lost Kingdom 141 coverage. Leave me feedback down below as always. I always read it. If I can, I improve my coverage. And for now, thank you for being awesome. I hope things are clear. Next video is going to be insane. And I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And take care. Peace.